Welcome back to the show, folks. Maybe you've been up all night wondering about this storm, where it is, what's happening. Is it safe outside? Well, too early for that. We do have the rain, and I know you've been hearing this all night long as well. Not a whole lot of wind as of yet, but we do have that rain, folks, and some impressive totals already. We've been seeing bands of heavy rain continue to come through, and guess what? There's even more heavy rain that's going to move through the area as the center of circulation continues to push through. Has made landfall and the southern portions of our state, in fact, down toward the southeast. It will continue to slide further off to the north, expecting it to bend back to the west just a little bit more, which will bring us more heavy rain, and those winds will start to pick up as well. Hoping that the storm system stays a little bit further to the east of us like it is now, because we'll be on the weaker side of that. The stronger side is up into South and North Carolina, and it will stay that way if it continues further off to the north. The storm is moving at about 26 miles per hour. That's also good news because it will move through and get out, and so we won't have a whole lot of time to deal with those winds. But the rain, unfortunately, is around, and it's going to be around for us. You got moderate pockets here and there. It's light in some spots, heavy in others, and that's the way it's going to be. Waves of it just rolling right on through our forecast area. For now, down toward McDonough, you got some heavy rain there. You see that little orange pocket there. The yellow would indicate moderate rain. We have a lot of that, of course, little spotty areas of moderate rain around. Some of the heaviest have been over toward the west as well. One band already moving into Alabama. This is moving from the east to west now. And you can see over toward LaGrange area, we already have some heavy rain. Some little reds in there as well indicate some really heavy rain coming down. And then you got some spots where you have nothing at all, right? Just a little bit of a break, but more coming back your way from Thomaston over toward Luthersville. Peachtree City as well. Light rain for now, but more of that heavy rain will begin to push in. You'll notice this red box. We've been showing these red boxes around. That is tornado watches. And then every now and again, you get this little polygon that pops up, which indicates tornado warnings. You have that off the coast and just over towards South Carolina. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of little brief spin-ups here because of that easterly jog of the storm system. You'll notice here's the center of circulation there, and there's Atlanta there. It's moving mainly up toward the northeast. Now, expecting it maybe start to bend back a little bit as it gets a little bit further off to the north. Those winds around the storm right now are at 90 miles per hour, so still a Category 1 hurricane in the southern portions of the state, now starting to move up into the central portions of the state. Again, most of the severe weather threats are over toward the east. In fact, all of the severe weather threats are over toward the east. Now, the rain, that's one thing. We're concerned about the winds starting to pick up on us, and that's what's going to blow around those trees that are already heavy and saturated from the rain that we've already had. Driving in, I've noticed those leaves just hanging down, a lot of weight on them. We have full leaves out there, and so a lot of weight on those leaves, so it's just kind of weighing down the tree. Now, you think in theory that would help out a little bit, but those sustained winds getting up to about 35 miles per hour, maybe up to 39 miles per hour, because we're expecting the storm to be a tropical storm as it moves through. That's enough to push those right on over. And with the soil already saturated, that's not going to help. Not going to help. So we're expecting things to get a little bit worse before they get better. Here's a better look at it now. And this is just a new update as of 3 a.m. You see the winds are down, once again, down to 80 miles per hour. Once this drops below 74, so if it goes down to about 70 miles per hour there, it will be a tropical storm, but still Category 1 status. It is moving, picking up some forward speed as of this new update, now moving at 30 miles per hour. Again, another good sign, and hopefully it picks up a little bit more speed as well as it begins to get pushed further off to the north of us. Again, the latest update, 80 mile per hour winds and moving to the east, the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So some good news there. Here is the latest track. Again, it brings the storm up close enough to the Atlanta metro area now. It is starting to take that easterly jog, but the Hurricane Center is thinking that it's going to be pulled back to the west just a little bit. And so it will track it as it moves up and then kind of back toward the west and then right on by us and then further off to the north. Still expecting those wind gusts to be in the 60 to maybe 70 mile per hour range as that pushes through. That's when we'll start to see more of those leaves, the trees starting to topple over a little bit. So far, we've seen reports of a couple of trees down, in some spots, very isolated in our area. A couple limbs I saw on my way in as well, but with the winds picking up, we'll start to see those trees coming down. That's going to be a little bit difficult for travel. It's already difficult out there now with the rain. When you start factoring that wind, really gets a little bit treacherous. So again, things will start to get worse on us. We've been here all night long tracking this particular storm system and telling you about that rain, but again, it's the wind that we're looking at coming up. So I'm going to toss it over to Nicole Harford, who is in. She's been looking at the flooding that we've been experiencing, and she's going to talk more about these winds that are coming our way. Nicole?
Yes, Chesley, we've been monitoring the flood risk, which is our most imminent threat when it comes to Hurricane Helene and the remnants of it as it moves through North Georgia. Our 48-hour rainfall totals are impressive across North Georgia, and we've seen totals ranging from 3, 4, 5 inches to a lot of spots that have picked up 7, 8, 9 inches of rainfall just over the course of the last 48 hours. That main swath of rain, you can see the highest numbers with the yellows and oranges indicated here on our rain totals map that really stretches up through 85 and centers over metro Atlanta. So we are obviously already seeing a good deal of flooding, especially around our streams and creeks. These are a lot of our river flooding gauges. The green indicates streams, creeks that are currently not at flood stage. The yellows is in moderate flood stage, and then the reds are in major flood stage. And there are a number across metro Atlanta that are already up into either moderate or major flood stage. One that I do want to point out is currently Peachtree Creek, both the North Fork at Buford Highway as well as the South Fork at Johnston Road. So I would certainly urge anyone who is, if you know that you live near a stream, a creek, a body of water that does typically flood, pay close attention and just do not get out on the roads right now. We're seeing flooding not only in those typical flood prone areas around our streams and creeks, but we're seeing pooling water on roadways area wide. We'll continue to pick up rainfall through the course of the next few hours. We could see additional rain totals of anywhere from 2 to 6 inches of rainfall before we finally start to dry out. And with the flooding that's already ongoing, we'll see additional flooding across North Georgia. In addition to that, the winds will start to pick up. Up till now, they really have not been that gusty. We're just now starting to see a little bit more of a breeze across North Georgia. These are our sustained wind speeds, which in Atlanta are up to 20 miles per hour already. And we're seeing some stronger gusts up to 20, 25 miles per hour, with even some gusts up towards Gainesville up to 30 miles per hour already. This is just the beginning. You can see the much stronger wind gusts down towards the southeast of our area and the purples and the reds, where the stronger winds are surrounding the center of circulation of Helene. That wind will continue to spread across the area just within the next couple hours. We're starting to see some of the weaker tropical storm force winds. So this map shows you the wind field of Helene. The yellow indicates lower range tropical storm force winds. The orange is the stronger tropical storm force winds, and then the red is hurricane force winds, which would be over 74 miles per hour. This is currently starting to push up into our area. By about 5 o'clock, we'll start to see some of the stronger tropical storm force winds across metro Atlanta, and then that will spread up towards the north. Now, the main wind field associated with this may manage to stay just east of metro Atlanta, closer to the Athens area, which does mean that's where the strongest of the winds will be, closer to the center of circulation and usually on the eastern side of that center of circulation. Regardless of where you are, though, that's strong enough winds combined with all the rainfall we've picked up in the last couple of days, it will easily knock over not only just tree limbs, but it will uproot these trees and pull them down, which will lead to additional power outages. Our power outage risk is widespread across much of North Georgia, and for the rest of our area in the moderate for that power outage risk. So we will likely start to see many more power outages as the day progresses, especially as we start to see those winds pick up within about the next hour or two. Here's your forecast track for the rainfall moving through. We've already seen widespread, consistent rainfall and at times very heavy rain, and that will continue throughout the next few hours as that center of circulation of Helene starts to move in. So this is by 4 o'clock. We're starting to see some of those stronger wind gusts up into Putnam County, off towards Eatonton, and that continues to eject up towards the north. I mentioned that center of circulation may stay off towards the east of Atlanta. We've been seeing that pretty steady track shifting towards the east, or at least staying east of metro Atlanta. It still means impactful weather here, gusty winds, more heavy rainfall, but the strongest winds again will likely be right around that center of circulation as it goes up towards the north. Rainfall will clear out pretty quickly once that moves through as some drier air wraps around. So we're still seeing periods of very heavy rainfall, likely the gustiest winds between about 5, 6, 7 o'clock this morning, and then that ejects up towards the north. So by 9 a.m., things are starting to dry out. We'll still have some lingering rainfall, a couple isolated showers, even into the afternoon, but it will not be nearly as widespread, and we may even see some breaks in the cloud cover as we slowly start to clear out. If you don't have to get out on the roads, again, I would advise not to, especially while it's still dark, and even through the next 24 hours, through tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Just remember, there could still be standing water, and there could also still be debris in the roads, so just make sure to proceed with caution. Here's our current satellite radar that shows you all that heavy rainfall moving in. We do also have that tornado watch down towards the southeast. This does not include us, but that is one of the lower end threats we're still going to be watching for. Isolated, brief spin-up tornadoes. Our tornado threat very, very low at this point. I'm more concerned about that flood risk as well as the risk for some very gusty winds, but we'll continue to monitor this as we go through the next few hours and continue to see those impacts of Helene. Some of the heaviest rainfall right now on the north side into portions of North Fulton County, moving westward into Cobb as well as Cherokee County. And then that heavy rainfall really stretches down towards the south into portions of Upson County as well as Pike County. So through the next couple hours, we'll watch as that center of circulation of Helene continues up towards the north. We're already starting to see some of that drier air wrapped in. Notice the center of circulation right here. It's a lot drier down towards the south, so we will slowly start to clear out. We still have a couple more hours, though, of that heavy rainfall, as well as that risk for flooding and the possibility of some power outages as the morning progresses. Chesley.
All right, thanks a lot, Nicole. Really appreciate that. Again, folks, wind is what we're concerned about. And Nicole talked about those gusts, right? It will start to pick up over us as the storm continues to push to the north. Now picking up forward speed, which is moving about 30 miles per hour. So as it continues to push through, and we typically see this with landfalling systems, as they move inward into the land, they start picking up forward speed. So they start to move rapidly and then get carried out. And so we're starting to see that, which again is a good sign for us, but anticipating those winds starting to pick up. Now, I stopped it here at 4 o'clock. And you'll notice our wind gusts. And we're talking more about the gusts because those are a little bit more powerful than your sustained winds. If you think about blowing out a candle, when you give it that quick burst, right? That's all a tree would need in order to fall over, knock down some power lines, or even fall on some cars out there as well. So be very careful. Even hopefully you parked your car in a good spot. All right, so looking at by 4 o'clock at least, the wind gusts into 30 mile per hour range down to the south and east of the city, over toward Atlanta in the 25 mile per hour range. But notice over here to the east, where you see that purple in particular, is where you have those winds in excess of 50 miles per hour. Those wind gusts, 57 miles per hour over toward Eatonton. So even by the 4 o'clock hour, that's where we're anticipating those southeast and east winds coming in that strong, seeing those gusts that high. We'll continue on to 5 o'clock. You're looking at it starting to spread a little bit further off to the north and over toward the east. So now that the Canton area is starting to see 38 mile per hour wind gusts, 37 mile per hour wind gusts over toward Carrollton. Now Marietta getting in on it by 7 o'clock. You got 40 mile per hour wind gusts. You're looking at 44 mile per hour winds over toward Peachtree City and over toward Eatonton. That continues to lift off to the north, so that by 10 o'clock, we'll start to see those winds start to come back down a little bit, but still got 30 mile per hour wind gusts out there. 31 over toward Duluth, for example, 34 over into Athens, 39 in Gainesville, and 38 up to Clayton, and then continue to move up to the north. And through the afternoon, this is by 3:30 in the afternoon, you're still looking at wind speeds in excess of 30 miles per hour. So we'll say anywhere between 25 and 35 miles per hour. So through the day, even after the rain goes away, we'll still be dealing with some of those wind gusts in the 30 mile per hour range. What that's going to do is, as trees weaken, with the 50 mile per hour wind gusts coming through, the trees are going to get weakened a little bit. Some will fall, a lot will fall, and then some will be weak. And so even through the afternoon, you're still going to have to be careful. The rain goes away, the sun comes up a little bit, or at least it gets lighter. You go outside, you're going to have to be careful. You have to look around your surroundings, okay? Make sure that if a tree looks weak, looks like it's about to topple over any moment, stay away from it, right? Call someone maybe to help you out a little bit. But trees, I think, will be falling through the day as long as these wind gusts stay that high. Really not looking for those to subside until we get to tonight. Friday night, things begin to settle down. Obviously, the rain is gone, right? We'll get some breaks in those clouds, but things will start to really settle down once we get toward Friday night as far as those winds go. So we still have some time with this as far as the storm system rolling through the area. Hurricane force winds down to the south of us. Some of our southern counties have been included in that now. Spalding County, Butts County. You also got Putnam County as well. Upson County is included in that. Lamar and Pike counties also included in that as well. So if you live in those areas, we're expecting your winds to be a little bit stronger than, say, Rome and over toward Athens. Although I have one little county there up here in the north that has a hurricane warning right now. Over toward Augusta as well. Those winds will be in the, again, 50 to 60 mile per hour range. Talked about the flooding. Nicole talked about this extensively. And we mentioned this yesterday, that we'd start to see more of these areas lighting up because, again, the rain has no place to go. It's the ground is already saturated, it's soaked up as much as it can, and really no time to wring that out, right? And so the rain continues to pile up, and so now it's just going up, 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 and up. And we saw Ariana's live shot there in places like Buckhead, where that water is just standing still and starting to rise up, and people have to be evacuated. So you got to be careful for this afternoon. Staying anchored down is a good idea, so that you don't have to go out and have to be rescued, right? And you go into a place where you don't know how deep the water is. You start to drive through that because you think your car is high enough or whatever the case may be, and you get stuck. It doesn't take much for it to happen, folks. Again, the watches still remain in effect area-wide, but we have a lot of warnings out there as well. Severe weather threat, not so much an issue for us. We were talking about brief spin-up tornadoes. Most of that has been over toward the east. Every now and again, I saw a little tornado pop up over toward the Columbia area in South Carolina, so that's a little further inland. And you see where the Storm Prediction Center has that in the dark green shade, which means a marginal threat for severe weather. For us, is a light green shade, just means a general threat around here. We can't rule it out, of course. Can't rule it out, but likely to stay over toward our east. It's just that heavy rain, which is going to get heavier as that storm system continues to slide through, and the winds that we're waiting on. And so again, expecting those to begin to pick up around the 4 o'clock hour, 5 o'clock hour. Will be with us at least through about 9, where we'll have those wind gusts in the 50 to 60 mile per hour range. And then after that, things will begin to settle back down.